What up, Iluraphiles? I just recently played something from a long time ago. It's time for a retro review. I went back to the N64 and played Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, which was released in April 16th, 1998 to North American audiences from Konami. It was originally titled Gambari Goemon 5, but the devs wanted to break the numerical naming convention. If I were to compare it to anything else, I'd say it's kind of like Ocarina of Time meets Mario 64. I definitely have some nostalgia for this game. The graphical style is very similar to a lot of other stuff, early 3D titles. It did look quite good, in my opinion, for the time, though. Let's see. Gameplay mechanics. You got platforming and combat, which kind of plays out similarly for each of the 4 playable characters that you unlock over time. There's a little bit of puzzle solving and a ton of exploration. Each characters have their own unique abilities, such as underwater swimming, flight, going Super Saiyan. Essentially, it's got a particular brand of humor that is goofy and very Japanese, but it's fun. Made me laugh quite a few times. As I said, graphically, it holds up, to other heavy hitters of the time. It looked quite good. And it had a 128-bit cartridge, which was larger than the other contemporaries of the time, I believe, allowing for it to have some full vocal tracks on some of the musical numbers. One of which is the awesome title track and song for the Impacto Ogemoshikai. So the dungeons actually featured minimalistic songs which grew in complexity as you explored, which was interesting musical engagement as you went through the dungeons. It definitely, is one of the highlights, the music. The plot is wacky and wild. You start out with Ebisumaru and Goemon and kind of wind up with some wacky stuff. A UFO attacking turning the castle into like a European castle in the town you start out in. You find out it's the Peach Mountain Gang. Children get kidnapped. You befriend a dragon that's actually a child. Get into giant robot battles. Find out that this whole thing is about these rising stars for they're taking over the world. And as I said, the characters are Goemon and Ebisumaru. Later you get Secret Ninja Agent, yay. What a looker. And my favorite, Sasuke, the little robot boy. I thought he was so cool when I played when I was younger. Difficulty. It's tough. I mean, the main thing I would say is navigation, figuring out what you're supposed to be doing. You can go and speak to a fortune teller named Plasma. But Plasma definitely gives you some guidance. You don't have a detailed map. You do have a map, but navigating around and figuring out where things are proves to be quite challenging. I would say that I spent a fair amount of time in the game just completely lost. Even though I knew where I was supposed to be going, I couldn't remember how to get back there. It is quite a large game world in essentially an open world, which was ambitious for the time. The performance on modern hardware, though, if you choose to emulate rather than playing the original, can be quite difficult to get working well. I was able to achieve decent emulation results, but it's not ideal. I'd recommend playing the original if you have it. The idea, I've had several people mention it'd be great to see on the Switch Online. Probably not going to happen, though, considering that's all essentially emulation, I believe. So, if it struggles to run on modern hardware, the Switch is a little bit underpowered. Don't know if we'll see it anytime soon, and I don't have faith in Konami to handle a remake well. I will say that streaming it was a lot of fun. I ran into a lot more people that had memories of it than I expected to. Some people forgot about it. It was, really nostalgic and fun. It also made it quite difficult, though. Interacting with viewers and everything when there's a lot of contextual information that can be easily missed or forgotten. That being said, it was a blast. We picked up on a number of things like plasma, or Ogimoshikai, and different things we'd say in the chat and stream and go over into the community voice chat and be using that regularly. A lot of fun. I will say, after all these years, it still holds up relatively well. Some of the comedy is still goofy and fun. The world is interesting. It has a banging soundtrack. But yeah, it is held back a little bit by the kind of lack of hand-holding and lack of, tools for it to even help you guide yourself. I would recommend it, though, to people if you're interested in retro games and you can have a little bit of patience. It's definitely a fun one. And, if you want something that is similar but doesn't have all of the kind of as confusing of an experience, maybe check out the sequel, Goemon's Great Adventure. So, in conclusion, I'll say, great game, holds up fairly well with some parts of it being more dated than others. And I hope that more people can, get into this series, as I think it's an underrated gem. Can donkey hooves out of 3 old phone cases. Ogemochikai!